It is the true story of the three little pigs. So it was told by John and illustrated by Lane Smith. The last name is, well, difficult. I gotta get my newspaper reports for you guys. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. I let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I, Alexander T. Wolf, the Wolf. You could call me Al. I don't know how this big bad wolf thing started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pigs. That's just what we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing was all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a time, I was making a birthday cake. For my dear old granny, I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he was kind of stupid. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind builds their house out of straw? That idiot pig. So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into somebody's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No one answered. I was just about to go home when the cup of sugar for my dear old grandma's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. Felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I sniffed. And, well, I sneezed a great. I think I was allergic to straw. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. To all you wolves out there, if you see somebody laying somewhere, whether they're dead as a doornail or alive as anything else that's not a doornail, don't eat them. They are not cheeseburgers. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the neighbor's next house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He's a little smarter, but not by much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig. Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Oh, so that's where that came from. Also, since when could pigs have to shave? I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was a second brother, the second little pig, dead as a doorknob nail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know, food will spoil if you leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a separate helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better. And I still didn't have the cup of sugar for my old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called Mr. Pig. Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know how this rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't give me even a one little cup for my sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third brother, little pig, yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pen. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. This story was a memorial for the two pigs that died in the wolf's supposed dinner. But a friend of mine has sources up there and down there. And both of them conclude that this story that he told was false. I could go into more detail, but you'll have to find the right book for that. Anyway, kids, my name is Mr. Donaldson, your teacher, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.